Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And let me just tell you, these little guys are acting up today. They are crazy, running all around and playing, and they've been outside all day long. They have had the best day. So I'm having a great day. It is rainy and fallish outside, but I'm kind of like craving chili. So Alex is getting ready to come home here from work in a second. And I'm thinking about making a pot of chili. It's like the one and only thing that I can make besides, oh, hi Boo Radley. It's like the one and only thing that I can make besides pasta. So I've just had this wonderful day. I woke up and I just started doing my meditations as I do most mornings. And if you guys know, like, I love these little meditation books so much. And I actually was in, you just hopped from one place to the next. So anyway, I was in Half Price Books about a week ago. It was Labor Day weekend. And I was like, Peter, stay away from the meditation book section, because every time I go in there, I always buy a new meditation book. I keep them in this cabinet in my bathroom, and I have like probably, I don't know, 10 to 20 in there right now. And I have my favorites, and then I have the ones that I just kind of always skip over. There's some in there actually that I've never read on this channel because I just don't really care for them at all. But like, people have given them to me, and I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe someday I'll fall in love with them. But my all-time favorite one is The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. So I went in there to go grab it because I do want to say this is funny. You guys know that I've been using this blue string as like a reminder of compassion and kindness and all that kind of stuff. Well, it fell off yesterday. It had been like washed out from being in the sun and in the pool water in Las Vegas. And so I was just sitting there and I looked down, I was like, oh my God, it's gone. So I tied another one on. So I have a new blue string on my wrist. But I was sitting there and I was going to read one of the meditations from the last couple days, because I said that there were so many great meditations from this week. If you watched my meditation video yesterday, the Soulful Sunday, I said in there are so many great meditations from like 2 or 3 days ago and the next 2 days that I'll probably be reading meditations all this week. But I grabbed the book, and when I did, it kind of just flopped open to July 14th. And the meditation for this day is so fantastic. And I was like, I really needed to hear this today. So if I really need to hear it, I'm sure that there's at least one person out there that needs to hear it as well. So before I get into this, I want to say, and I don't even know if she watches this channel, but she watches a lot of my channels, and she's in my live stream, and she comments on my vlogs and stuff like that, and I'll probably say this something about this on my vlog too. But Amy, who watches my videos, her husband has been deployed, and she is pregnant, and he just got home. So she's so excited, and I just wanted to say to her husband, thank you for your service. And Amy, I told you make it. I told you could get through this. So I'm so excited that he's home and that they're together again. So anyway, I want to read this meditation to you because I think it's really an important meditation, especially in, having recently talked about validation and acceptance and those kinds of things. We are lovable, July 14th. Even if the most important person in your world rejects you, you are still real and you are still okay. Codependent no more. Do you ever find yourself thinking, how could anyone possibly love me? For many of us, this is a deeply ingrained belief that can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thinking we are unlovable can sabotage our relationships with coworkers, friends, family members, and other loved ones. This belief can cause us to choose or stay in relationships that are less than we deserve because we don't believe we deserve better. We may become desperate and cling as if a particular person was our last chance at love. We may become defensive and push people away. We may withdraw or constantly overreact. While growing up, many of us did not receive the unconditional love we deserved. Many of us were abandoned or neglected by important people in our lives. We may have concluded that the reason we weren't loved was because we were unlovable. Blaming ourselves is an understandable reaction, but an inappropriate one. If others couldn't love us or love us in ways that worked, that's not our fault. In recovery, we're learning to separate ourselves from the behaviors of others. And we're learning to take responsibility for our healing, regardless of the people around us. Just as we may have believed that we're unlovable, we can become skilled at practicing the belief that we are lovable. This new belief will improve the quality of our relationships. It will improve our most important relationship, our relationship with ourselves. We will be able to let others love us and become open to the love and friendship we deserve. Today, God, help me be aware and release any self-defeating beliefs I have about being unlovable. Help me begin today to tell myself that I am lovable. Help me practice this belief until it gets into my core and manifests itself in my relationships. And I think this is so important, and it's kind of like you know, there's a saying on RuPaul's Drag Race that RuPaul always says that, how the hell are you going to love somebody else until you first love yourself? Something to that effect. And it's true, you know, it's like the person that we forget to love the most is ourselves. And that is why I talk on here all the time about setting limits and boundaries and learning to grow as a person and remaining teachable and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, taking the shit that we've done in our lives and trying to grow from it, because all of those things together allow us to continue to fall in love with ourselves, to see ourselves as lovable. And if we don't see ourselves as lovable, others won't either. And it's important that we do see ourselves that way. And at the end of the day, those that don't care for us or those that don't like us don't really matter in the grand scheme of things if we do love ourselves, if we do believe that we are lovable. And I think the other thing is that, you know, a majority of my life growing up, like, I mean, I came from very loving parents. But I've talked a lot about my, you know, and very affectionate parents too. But I came from a mother that was an alcoholic, and I've shared about this, you know, ad nauseum on my channel. So I didn't really ever know what I was walking into. And I think that I misunderstood that often when I was a child, that if she behaved a certain way, that meant that that was something wrong with me. Does that make sense? Like, I personalized that. When I was at school and people were making fun of me, I personalized that and I made it about me. I thought, well, there's something wrong with me. I'm unlovable. People don't like me. It has to be something wrong with me that people would, you know, bully me or make fun of me. There has to be something about it. There has to be something wrong with me. And that's just not the case. There's nothing wrong with me whatsoever. Do you hear somebody calling in on my meditation, trying to ruin my very calm, peaceful moment? But that's just not the case, you know? And as I grew up and, you know, I actually sat face to face with my main bully for 10 years, and I looked at him and I said, why? Why me, you know? And he said, why not you? Like, you know, it wasn't personal. He goes, I was feeling like shit about myself, and this was my way of getting positive attention from other people, and you just happened to be the person that was there. Well, that's sad, but that's the reality, and today I know that. It took me a long time. I mean, I was like in my 30s when we had that conversation, you know? So in my 30s, I finally realized it was never personal. You know, it really was not about me. And, you know, I love the Oprah saying when, you know, she was talking to Maya Angelou, and she was talking about, well, you know, they're saying this about me in Stedman, and they're saying that, and Maya looked at her and she said, but you're not in that, see? Like, that's not about you. Like, that says more about them than it does about you. And I think that's so true in life, you know, that often we look at people that don't like us, and we personalize that, and we say, well, that means I'm not lovable. I know that means that there's something wrong with me. People wouldn't like me. When that has nothing to do with it at all. That really has to do with the condition of that person. So we have to really start believing that we're lovable. We have to put Post-it notes on our mirrors in the mornings that say, you are lovable, you are worthy, you are valuable, and believe it. And really, really train ourselves to believe that to be true, you know? We only have one life. I don't want to go through this life believing that I'm not lovable, you know? And I really also think that I have to look at the people that do treat me with love and kindness. You know, I have to look at, you know, all of my friends and family in my life that love for me to be part of their life. I have to look at, you know, like, all of the people of my friends in recovery that are excited to see me, all of you guys that leave me the really, really nice comments and things like that. Like, I have to kind of buy into that at some point, because the negative in my ear sometimes is more powerful than the positive. I'm sure a lot of you relate to that out there. You know, it's like from the movie Pretty Woman, and it's one of my favorite movies. And, you know, there's a part in there where he says, you know, you're so beautiful. And she says the bad stuff is easier to believe. When somebody tells you something about yourself long enough, you start to believe it. You have to unbelieve it. And that's what this book is telling us. It's like you have to change the tape in your head. You have to believe that you are lovable, that you are worthy, that you are valuable. And those words are hard to get around sometimes. You know, it's like to believe like, well, you know, I'm a good husband, and I'm a good friend, and, you know, I'm a good, you know, all these kinds of things, that good son and things like that, that I, you know, didn't believe for many, many years. You know, the saboteur in my head, the, you know, devil on my shoulder wants to tell me, well, that's not true. That's not really the case. And the reality is, it is true, and I am lovable. And the second that I realize that I'm lovable, and the second that I realize that even if nobody else out there sees it, I can see it in myself, which isn't even the case, you know? And it's not the case for you, and it's not the case for anybody out there. There's always going to be somebody out there that cares about us. Even if it's the person that works at Starbucks when we're driving through giving us coffee, there's somebody out there, you know, that cares about you. And we have to first believe it in ourselves, because if we don't believe it in ourselves first, nobody else will believe it, you know? And so it's really, really important for us to believe that we are lovable. And I think that that part in here where she says, just as we may have believed that we're unlovable, we can become skilled at practicing the belief that we are lovable. This new belief will improve the quality of our relationships. It will improve our most important relationship, our relationship with ourselves. We will be able to let others love us and become open to the love and friendship we deserve. And I think everybody out there deserves that, don't you? I think there is not a person out there that doesn't deserve to be loved. I love you guys, and I hope you're having an amazing day, unless you have other plans, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.